Yeah, you should just hit start streaming, and as long as you have the stream key set in in OBS, it'll just go to it.
Did you need to reset the stream key because we were playing around before?
No, I got the right stream key. Is it showing?
Oh, something just happened.
There it is.
Hooray!
We're here. We're live.
We're here. Is anybody else watching us? Is the question. Is anybody else here? We are here.
You have the preview closed, correct?
What's that?
You have the preview closed?
What do you mean?
Or muted on your machine, I assume?
I don't have the preview playing.
Good. Don't do that, or else it'll be double audio.
Yeah. Is anyone who's watching this stream seeing anything?
Yeah, I see it.
Okay, so it's working.
Yep.
Okay, great. Do we have anybody?
It says 5 watching now.
Oh wow! Look at that.
Well, I'm one of them.
Yeah, I'm too.
Okay. Well, all right. Well.
Can I watch from my phone?
Yeah, then we'll have 6.
I typed in chat. Oh, Pies and Falx is here. Hello.
Oh, hey, we got one. Hooray. Wait, where do I look at the chat? Oh, say hi. Oh wow, we got a whole 8. Yes.
Zach, can you text me the link so I can watch?
Yes.
It should be in the Skype.
I mean, email me.
Yeah, I'll email it to you right now.
Cool.
Okay.
All right.
Super great.
So hey, we got 10 watching. Look at this.
Woohoo! I'm about to be 11.
Wait, well, if you log into the, all right, I guess we could all log into the chat. Fine.
I'm gonna have it up so I can keep the chat open so I can see people talking.
Yeah. All right. Where's the controller? Okay.
Because I have 2 screens and I'm gonna take advantage of it.
Cool. Can everybody let us know in the chat? Are you getting good video? Are you getting good audio, or like good enough?
There may be a bit of a delay. Oh,
there will definitely be a delay.
Yeah, it's definitely a delay. Okay, Nathan says looks good. Cool. Paul just texted me. Hey, we're doing it now. Go on Skype. We're a real professional outfit. Over here at the Once and Future Nerd.
Kyle.
Should we get started, or are we going to wait for Paul?
Paul's here and Rhiannon's here, so let's dial them in. Oh wait, Paul will be here. Okay, Paul will be here in 15 minutes. Rhiannon will be here soon. Me when you're
Oh, look at this.
your computer, I'll dial you in. Okay. All right. Gonna call Rhiannon. Add people. Rhiannon Angel. Add. Okie doke. Dialing Rhiannon. Let's see. Hey, can you hear us?
I can, yes. Can you hear
Hello.
me?
I can hear you. Yes. You are currently broadcasting to YouTube, FYI. So
Awesome.
that's a thing. Turn on video if you've got it, or if you want to leave it off, that is okay.
Okay, there we go.
All right. Loading. Cool. We see you. Hooray. All right. So shall we get going?
Yeah, let's get started. Yeah. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the 2nd edition of Ask the Once and Future Nerd, and our first ever streaming edition of the Once and Future Nerd.
Woohoo!
I'm here. I'm Zach. I'm here with, as usual, Christian.
Yep.
And we're also with Anya Gibeon.
Hello.
We have Rhiannon Angel.
Hey.
We have Greg Schultz.
Hello!
And introducing Shannon Harris, who's one of our newest cast members, who's been writing with us, whose voice you will first hear on the show in the upcoming chapter.
Hey guys.
So hang on. The current call on my Skype thing is not switching when other people talk. So stand by. I want to make sure we can see everybody. Wait, who's playing the audio of the stream?
What do I have to do?
Mute your either mute your phone or run it through headphones so that.
Okay, I'll mute my phone. I just muted my phone. Is that better?
Yes. Okay. Let's see how we're gonna do this. All right, we're gonna do some kind of stand by as we organize our chat window. Like I said, very professional organization. Okay, that'll work. Yeah, we got like a nice like Brady Bunch scenario going on here. I'll move myself over. All right, cool. Here we go. We got this. How do I hide my own window in Skype? That's stupid. Does anyone know how to do that?
You can just leave it. It's fine.
All right. Okay. All right. Here we go. So, Zach, you're in charge. You're the master inquisitor, I guess. So, do your thing.
Okay. So now that everything's all settled, welcome again. Welcome to the live stream. For those of you in chat, I'll try to monitor chat as we go, so feel free to shoot extra questions, but otherwise we'll be answering the questions that we've gotten from Reddit and from Facebook and from our email. So I should say, just in case, for the audio stream, this episode will have massive spoilers for the plot of The Once and Future Nerd. We'll be discussing the plot of Book 2, Chapter 2, so if you're new, welcome to our show, and please go back to the beginning before you listen to this. That being said, in this chapter 2, the big cliffhanger that we ended on was the elf commander Reloteet was searching for stragglers after the big battle and ended up finding Arlene and the baby orc, and that was the big cliffhanger that we left on, and we actually will not discuss that today. We'll discuss some other parts of the plot from this chapter. One of the big parts of the plot here was that we left Bryce and Brennan sort of discussing how to proceed in the future, and that led to a lot of sort of discussing the global geopolitics, I suppose, of the show. So one of the first questions we got was from user ScroobyU-Harvard2 on Reddit, who asked for a brief synopsis of the various warring parties going on at the moment that led to this discussion between Brennan and Bryce.
Oh, right, this. Yeah, so I guess this is like a bit of a plot summary thing from previous chapters, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So there has been this so Traft in the last couple years has built this kind of coalition of people from the west of the Black Mountains who have been, up until this point, have been referred to as orcs, and he led them in this big invasion that was kind of happening in the background for all of book 1. And it culminated in the big battle at the end of book 1. Now, before that, Traft had been trained in like military tactics and stuff by Reloteet, by the Knights of the Wood. Their stated reason, and that's all I'll say, their stated reason for doing that was to demonstrate that, with the right, discipline and training, even an orc can be an upstanding, servant of the realm. And that obviously, that's not what ended up happening. So he led this big invasion. Bryce Riverfell is one of the commanders of the Civic Guard, who have 4 forts at strategic points around the map of Jordan. That's what is it? Blackhold, Freehold, Seahold, and Summerhold. Is that right? I gotta look at our map. They're on the map. And so after Blackhold Falls, which I think happens in book 1, chapter 4 or 5, around there. After maybe it's 6 even, but after Blackhold Falls, I think it's 6. After Blackhold Falls, like Bryce's fort at Freehold is the next kind of stop in Traft's march, so it's his job to kind of hold the position there. And another little vignette, like the one time that we spent a bunch of time with just Traft, it was him convincing this blacksmith to give up some weapons that he had created and hidden for Bryce Riverfell. And so that was part of the conversation that that Bryce and Brennan were having, was Bryce realizing, man, whatever got that blacksmith to give up those weapons is got to be something extreme. And I think Bryce was always smart enough to have some sense that, like, there was more to this elf orc human thing than he'd been led to believe. So that's, I don't know if that answered the question. I probably should have written that out and just done a text post. But...
Let me try to simplify for you real quick.
Okay, do that.
So I guess the simpler version with a lot less nuance and the stampede of horny elephants that we started the book with. Gwernethal was the king. Ardell wanted to be king. Bryce was just a soldier guarding the borders. And then Traft was from over the borders and trying to come in. Is that a reasonable short version?
Hey.
Hey, is that Paul? Hey.
Hello.
Hey.
Yep.
Do you have any ability to turn on video, Paul?
I think so. Let me try to do this thing real quick. Is that working?
I don't know.
Is that video? Can you guys
here we go.
Here we go. Hey.
Oh,
Hey.
hello.
Hey.
Hey, yo.
How's it going?
What up? Wait, let me clean off. It's going fine.
Yeah,
you guys
you are on YouTube, just so you know.
I'm on Instagram. That's great. I look like a complete tool.
If you want to call back in a few minutes, that is okay.
No, man. I'm pretty
Okay.
far. I'm just gonna holding quick.
All right.
There, you guys just gonna have to watch me in the gym. That's
Okay, great.
it's so bad.
Amazing.
I'm not even I'm not even that much in shape. It just happened that way. It happened that way. I'm sorry. Well, you guys get to watch me. I'm run. I'm gonna do a little nice little jog, and let's do this.
Okay, great.
Oh.
Fantastic.
That's great.
Okay. Like I said, we got a real professional outfit. That's been the theme of this stream. Okay, so all right, so and by the way, you can always everyone it's a real obscure thing. We do happen to know the asker of that question, but if you do if you have Cornell hockey themed screen names, you're always going to get to the front of the list. That's a little cheat code that we're letting you in on. Is that a good summary? It's hard to. Can the chat let us know if we summarize that well? I have no idea whether that was rambling or helpful. Now we gotta wait 30 seconds.
I don't even know
for
what
the
we're
chat
talking
to-
about. Oh god.
Maybe we'll do
Is it?
yeah, all right. Paul, I don't know. This might be tough, man. I really want you. Maybe do audio only. Maybe do audio only. Paul, can you
Maybe do audio only?
Yeah, maybe do audio
Sure?
only, just because
Oh man.
the LTE is not enough.
I'm not keeping up.
No.
Oh man. Okay. All right. Let me switch that thing off. Here we go. All right. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
great.
So
Oh man. Whoever's watching on YouTube is gonna be super pissed right now. That's terrible.
Oh, somebody
It's all black
somebody
screens.
said you didn't really
Uh-huh.
cover the moon crests.
Okay. That's some lore that I don't know about. You guys go ahead with that.
You mean the character you play?
Oh god.
Right. So
Oh, no.
there are so the moon crests. So there are 5 major families, 5 major houses in Jordan that all have they all have smaller houses that kind of answer to them. And they there's like a top 5, and Guanatal's been number 1 for a while. And everybody has been kind of, vying to get up the top. That's kind of the way this world is structured. And Mooncrest, I believe, was 3, and Felgear was 2 at the time we started. And what happened, I think in like 4 or 5 or 6, Redmore, which is not even in the top 5, kind of jumped position a bit by teaming up with Mooncrest to wipe out Felgear, and the idea being then Mooncrest could move up to 2, and Felgear and Redmore would then be higher than they had ever been before. I don't know if that helps. That's right, Zach?
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, basically, if you want to make it, rough Game of Thrones parallel, they're all different houses in the 7 kingdoms of various power levels, various rankings.
Am I correct in Mooncrest was kind of rich, so they wanted to bring him in to be Arlene's husband?
Right. Well, that was part of the deal, because Redmore was the thing they were going to offer to this Mooncrest alliance was this knowledge that they had of Felgear's movements. I think that was the idea, and then they were also going to offer, hey, here's our very marriageable daughter of our house in Arlene that Antonin can marry and cement the alliance.
Yeah, so I hope that sort of addresses that for everyone.
Yeah.
And the Mooncrests have something like sushi.
What's that? Oh yes, they do. Yes.
Oh yes.
Yes.
Wait, what?
So they eat. They do eat raw fish. That was what. Because Ardell gets food poisoning because he tries to eat salmon in the Mooncrest fashion, but he didn't know how to prepare it. I think that was the joke, right? Yeah.
Yeah. They also have vaguely samurai-ish swords.
Yeah, there's
that's pretty cool.
There's some details of their appearance that are so geography-wise, the Mooncrests probably look North African, but in their dress and kind of weapon design and stuff, it's somewhat Japanese coded was kind of the way that I had imagined it.
Oh, I love that. I love that stuff.
Yeah, okay, hopefully that... We should probably go to the next question. I hope that was all helpful information.
Yeah.
Yes. So, in the next question, Tyson Falk says Ardell should get food poisoning all the time. I agree.
I agree.
That would make the world a much better place.
Perpetually has food poisoning.
So the next question we got from Robert on Facebook, who asked, why does Nelson feel that they are partially responsible for the events that are currently happening within the story? Referring to what's going on between the humans, the elves, and the orcs, which has been happening for over 100 years in the world, when our 3 kids just sort of showed up a few months ago, essentially. So this is sort of a pretty heavy question related to our plot, and it's kind of one of the big driving points of the plot.
Yeah.
And Paul, since you're here and you're Nelson,
Yeah.
do you want to chime in?
I mean, I'm not sure if he actually thinks that he's they're directly the cause of it, as more of it's an impetus to act. It's the same as I can give you a great example. Just today, there was an arrest made, and a few of my coworkers were filming their arrest to make sure nothing happened. It's well, did they cause this? No, they didn't call 911 or anything like that. But it's their moral responsibility to act in terms of protecting someone else. And I think when you kind of find out about these larger injustices, it's almost like it's imperative for you to act. It makes no sense to simply stand aside or let things happen, especially when you realize that there's humanity on the other side of the end of like the cyber brutality that's happening. So it's less about the responsibility like you spilled the milk, clean it up. It's more like responsible as in you're a human being, and you should show the same type of love and kindness that you show for others to these people too.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's very true, and I also think there is something to. It's a little bit surface level, but in the time that the kids have been here, they have been directly complicit in this injustice because they fought in this big battle against the side of the orcs.
Yeah, they have.
So there's that as well.
This is true. Yeah. Yeah. That's also a thing. I mean, they have also killed. So
yeah.
Yes. Yeah. That's yep. Mm-hmm. This is true. I have a great memory, guys. I remember everything. I definitely did not forget that key plot point. I did not do that. Oh god.
Well, something that I was going to add as I had to catch up on pretty much the whole season up until what was recently published. So my memory is a little bit sort of more new. And I remember as I was reading sort of Nelson's reaction to what was happening, to me there was a pretty clear parallel between sort of him as a black boy in America. And so for me as an audience member, as a cast member, as a writer, that was something that I connected to, and the sense of, am I being complicit in the suffering of another people in the same way whose history in this world in some ways overlaps with my history in the world that I'm from. So I think, so for me, that's the other reason why Paul feels partly responsible or complicit or however you want to describe it.
Yeah.
That was the connection that I made.
Yeah, I would give you high fives if we were in the same room right now. I'm giving you like a cyber high five.
Don't put down any weights to do that, because then we'll hear the weights.
Break a toe.
Yeah, and for next time we do this stream, we'll try to get everyone in the same room if possible.
We'll try that. But we never do that when we make the show, so who says so?
That's real.
We're so meta.
We are.
Were you going to say anything else, Paul?
Oh, I was going to say I'm going to bring weights, like, even if we go into the, I was going to say if we're actually in the same room, I'm still going to bring weights.
Oh, okay, all right, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I was going to say, what's up, yo? Like, I haven't seen you in a minute. That's crazy.
Also
like,
that is
I have
also
to say what's up, too.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
we're like, our pull back the curtain, our recording schedule is a little bit behind, so I don't think you a little bit. How you doing?
That's blast from the past. Blast from the past.
Yeah.
All I gotta say. Yo. Yeah. Good to see you.
Yeah.
What were we saying?
What? No, does anybody have anything else? I mean, I think the only thing that I would say is, and like, this is one where I'm even like, I don't want to come down too strong in terms of authorial fiat of like, because I kind of want like outside the story, like I kind of want like kind of how you feel about this question is a lot of, I think, how you're gonna feel about the general message of the show. So I guess the only thing that I probably want to say is to just kind of think about, to ask the audience to kind of think about their reactions to like, okay, maybe you haven't directly done a bad thing, but then once you learn that you have benefited from a bad thing, then how should you feel about that, and how should you react? And I think that's kind of one of the central questions of the show. That's my authorial. What's that? You're breaking up.
I totally missed what you were saying, dude. Let me
It's a little better.
Okay. All right. Yeah. All right. Let me move around a little bit. Here we go. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
who's typing?
Sorry.
Who is typing?
Paul, sorry, you don't get to complain about typing. We can hear like machines beeping in the background here.
Well, it was so timed up with like me being like, I don't have any reception, and it's like someone was like typing to like hack into something to give me better reception.
Yeah,
that's what it felt like. I was like, who's doing this?
I did.
No,
I did just hack Verizon's network while we were to devote all of their bandwidth to Paul.
He's like, thank me later.
Yeah, right.
All right?
Exactly. All right.
That was my fault. Sorry, I was talking in chat.
All right. Should we do the next question?
Yeah, let's move on to the next question.
Yes.
Word.
So the next question we have is from our Patreon supporter, Chris, who happens to be my former roommate from college, but his question got read today because he's been an excellent Patreon supporter. So if you want to get your question to the top of the list, you can also chip in on our Patreon, and that would help us out a lot.
That's one of the perks at the $5 level.
Boom.
So Chris asks, can you talk about your world building process? Are there any backstories or world mechanics that you can talk about without spoiling things? And then he also asks, there have been a lot of hints, but can you be more specific about how magic works?
Also, to our actors, sorry this is a little front-loaded for producer questions. The next few questions are actor questions.
Okay.
But I think this is, to pull back the curtain a little bit, our Skype session here was for our writer's room, so everyone here contributes to writing the scripts. So I think we all do come together to do this world building.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it, I don't want to say happens on the fly because we spend a lot of time writing these scripts, but in these writer sessions, we hammer out a lot of the backstory. So if anyone wants to chime in on their experience in the writer's room, feel free to speak up.
Wait. So chime in on what? On world building?
Yeah, on
you know what? Go ahead.
Yeah, somebody can go.
Well,
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, let on you.
My world building usually comes from being a very physical actress, but in a audio world. So I think about a lot of like the physical things that the characters would be doing. Since I play Arlene, I've been dealing a lot with the baby issues recently. So I'm like, okay, so like real world, here's this infant. How do you feed it? How do we change diapers? What are diapers like in Jordan? And like other things like that. Or like, so this baby, like we want it to sleep a lot because it cries, but like they have other needs too. And like, how is this baby gonna like develop? And like, I don't know, that sort of thing where it's like, I like digging into like so like here's this fantastical situation, and then what are the real world aspects of it that like can make it more real for me as an actor playing it.
Yeah, and I think that's a really good thing to have in the room is like, there's a couple times where we've had to like discover a fact about the world because Anya has been like, wait, how do they do this? And then it's like a thing, and that sort of thing always kind of unlocks specificity, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And from the magic perspective as well, to sort of both parts of this question, something that happens a lot in our writer's room is we have the framework of the history and also the magic and also sort of the plot already set out, and then in the writer's room we'll hit a detail. So there was a moment when we were writing chapter 3, the one that's about to air, where, to not spoiler too much, Rhiannon came to us and said, can we do this with the magic? Can we, I'll be okay, can we do teleportation in the magic? And this led to kind of an hours-long discussion of, okay, how does that fit with what we've already established? How does that fit where we want to go? Rhiannon, do you want to talk about your half of that? Because it was kind of your idea.
I mean, I feel like good world building is extremely specific, and we are in a place where we don't want to give away too many secrets because that's sort of the fun of discovering it via the audio format, but we do have a pretty rich and detailed idea of what we want and where we're going with it. So it's just sort of a trick of trying to figure out how much do we want to give away, and when is it appropriate time to do that? And then also, how much can we push the boundaries of what we've already established? And because we haven't given away anything yet, so we can always change it, maybe, if we want to.
Right.
Which is a really fun aspect.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna give anything away, but like, I think we found such a cool thing because Rhiannon was like, "Hey, can we do this?" And then it kind of spiraled into something that I genuinely would never have thought of on my own, and I'm so glad we went in that direction.
That's one of the really fun aspects of the writers' room sessions is finding one detail and then kind of working with it, kicking around the room until we can settle on something, or a plot beat, or how are they going to get out of the situation, or what are diapers, or like what is this specific day-to-day thing that this person has had to deal with for such a long time that that's now changing how they go about any one thing. So it's been one of the more rewarding aspects of the whole world building process. Plus, we get to sit and ask Christian and Zach many questions that they have to answer. We've had for a long time.
Yeah.
So I got to step away for 1 second, but I'll be right back.
Yeah, the last writers' room, we spent a while just looking at our map, and we're like, okay, cool. So like here's the map that we made, but like what are all of these like in between unmapped places, or like where? So we haven't been here before. So like, what is this? I'm not gonna say anymore.
Yeah, and like realistically, how long will it take to get from point A to point B? And we're trying to be as real with it as we can be.
And then other times we end up yelling at each other in circles about whether an adult woman can palm an infant's skull.
Yeah.
Still one of my favorite things. Yeah, my wife indignantly asking me, "Do you know how faces work?" will always be a highlight of that first writer's room for me.
And now it's on the internet forever.
It's on the internet forever. Does that
Related to that, IntelliChi Engine in the chat room, sorry if I got your name wrong, tied this into asking about the existence of necromancy, proving that the Selberic realm exists temporarily independent of Jordan.
I think it's temporally.
Yeah, sorry, temporally independent. Thank you. Which is exactly the type of thing that we would sit around and argue about for hours, which is a lot of fun. I don't want to spoil any answers for you.
That's a good
Keep
pivot.
thinking about it.
That's a good pivot.
Yeah, we don't have hours to discuss that right now.
Oh my.
Yeah.
But
Is it okay if I totally zoned out for a minute? I zoned out for a minute. I got really into this bike here. It was great.
Okay,
It was
great.
awesome. No, I'm kidding.
Good. Well,
It's
I
lies.
hope
I'm
you
sorry. Totally
got your
kidding.
cardio up.
Oh man, it's good. I'm in a good place. I'm at my target zone. It's great.
Great,
It's great.
fantastic.
great. So we'll use that to move into the next question, which will be more of an actor-based question. This is from Nox Eternum on Reddit. So thank you for the question, Nox. Nox asks, to the voice actors who play more than one role, which is basically everybody, which character do you feel you click with the best?
Ooh, Nelson, obviously.
Okay.
I love it. That's,
Well, okay.
no, I have no character acting in that. It's just me. It's just me talking the whole time. It's great. Sorry. I'll leave the floor to everybody else.
Well,
Go.
Well, yeah, so I guess then the follow-up question is like, then how do you inhabit Antonin Mooncrest? Like, what's that like?
Oh, I remember this. This is like I remember when Christian, you're like, well, he's more like early 1930s, like how like people would talk, but like also a little bit of like Mad Men, like what was it? What's the guy's name? Help me out here. John Hamm's character.
Don Draper?
Don Draper? Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't think I did a good job of actually channeling that, but that's what I try to channel.
But we
I
definitely
think,
found a voice for Antonin, for sure.
We did. I mean, like, I'm just I'm just fishing for compliments. That's
Uh-huh.
all. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie there. But I'll tell you this though, like, I think a lot of it has to do with like just it's just standard acting work when you put yourself into the situation of that person and you try to embody on like where does that voice come from, and like does this person smoke? I didn't even know, like, actually speaking of world building, like, do they smoke in this in this realm, in this world? Because all we know is right. Yellowwing's like sister was high, but we don't know if that was like
so they
right?
they chew a root. The elves chew canna root. As to whether they smoke, we've kind of intentionally steered clear of crops that are native to the Americas. So there's probably not. We've never talked about this before, but I'm gonna say there's probably not tobacco in.
Oh, that's fine. I mean, that's okay. What if there's like a?
Well, if chewing cannabrute gets you high, then smoking it would certainly get you high, right?
Is anyone noticing that he's like lifting weights right now? Because I'm noticing this. I'm noticing this. I see the solidarity.
I just thought I'd get my burn in while Paul's doing it too.
Are we all
leg
just
day for me,
working out?
so that's what we do. That's the whole catch. Just be doing that every time. No, I think. But yeah, just to answer the question, I think a lot of it comes into not only like really looking at the script, but going deeper and saying like, what are my motivations? Why am I going through this? How am I going to get there? What do I actually feel about my success rate, even in the midst of doing that? Like all these little small details that you always feel when you are like just living your everyday life, putting yourself into that. That's how you get into that character, and that accent comes as almost like a byproduct in a lot of ways. And like part of that also comes from me just like really watching a bunch of TV or any type of like in that era or whatever. Like I just sat there and watched a lot of like movies that came from that era, and I really like Hunter, Night of the Hunter. It's a great one that comes from that era, and I try to like evoke that type of like cadence or call like why the guy talks.
Because
but like
it's a received dialect that no one grows up speaking.
Yeah, right. So it's very it's a little bit difficult. But I think like really it just comes from a lot of research and a lot of practice. Just like talk to yourself at night when no one's around, like a madman, until you feel like it sounds right, and like that's really where it comes from. So I would say that.
Cool.
Look, Shannon's like grinning.
No, I'm just listening. Taking it all in. High five. High five.
All right.
Yeah.
Favorite characters. Let's keep rolling. Favorite characters.
All right, let's keep going. Yeah.
Well, I won't disclose any of my characters because none of them have, been published yet. Am I using the right word?
Yeah.
Yes.
But I will say, if I can, that I've been able to contribute to writing one of my characters, which has been extremely cool, and connects to the world building thing. Just being able to sort of envision what that person is like, and how she operates in specific situations. I can't really say more than that, but that's been a really cool experience.
Yeah.
That's so awesome. I had the exact opposite reaction when I tried to write for Regan. I was like, I don't know how she talks. I can say it, but I can't like create it. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I mean, but I connect to her the most, mainly because I just am like flattered that you think that I'm that badass.
It's
Anya and I did my senior film in college. It was like a three-hander, and Anya was like this is all bullshit and I hate it character. And so when I was originally casting What's the Future Nerd, it's like no, that's Regan, and then she's grown into the character so incredibly well. It's her now.
Nice. That's dope.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I give most of the credit to you, because really it's the writing, and then I do like the 5% of the actual voicing of it, which is why I couldn't write it. So I was like, I don't know anything. But I do like writing. So I've been writing a lot of the songs, especially that Arlene sings, and then other people also. Rhiannon's been writing music, and that's been exciting for me as a musician and a songwriter. So that's the fun part that I like of the writing it. But yeah.
Nice.
Well, as far as clicking with a character, I guess for me the one I guess it's Yellowwing. It's one of those things where for a while it felt like I was the only one in Yellowwing's corner for some things, just to like there was some stuff going on in the world, and Yellowwing was kind of an embodiment of some some stuff that was happening, and I was like, listen, okay, he's got something. Maybe not his parents, but there's something to this kid where, like, if you remember that he's kind of still a teenager as far as, or like young adult as in this elven culture, that there's gonna be some growing pains, and he's about to go through a lot.
It was actually really interesting because somebody made just a goofy post on Tumblr about like, man, so glad that Yulwin's just coasting through life on that good, and I reblogged it, and I was like, yeah, let's not forget that Yulwin is 17 in elf years, and like everybody was like, oh yeah, and like that like makes so much more sense. So maybe it's our failing that we've forgotten to drive home that Yulwin is a teenager, but.
Can we take a quick aside for a second? Speaking of Tumblr talking about good. So I only knew that phrase from the McElroy brothers, referring to pot as good.
I definitely heard it before. It's not. They didn't invent it.
I hear it in terms of sex, like that good.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. I was like that good gushy or whatever. Like that's that's the context. So, or maybe also that good, with like one word good. That good, that's like spoke that loud. Like that's kind of like that's like weed vernacular, but weed or sex. That's the only way I actually like interpret it. What is that good in terms of McElroy brothers? That's the guys. Is that their names?
So that's exactly how they use it. It's just like they do a lot of like they'll
take a word and morph it either with their pronunciation or with like weird accents that they'll put on it and just kind of repeat it occasionally until suddenly it becomes part of their vernacular and then their listeners' vernacular.
Right. Like they'll use boys as a just a generic group of males in the same way that like we might think critically about how girls gets used. They'll instead of saying guys or men, they'll say boys.
They'll say boys.
And it's just like we've got like 50 boys in there, and like it just becomes they morph English until it becomes its own thing. And so I know I had definitely heard good outside of the McElroys, but also including it in the script was a bit of a nod to the McElroys. So, and I had to clarify that on Tumblr because someone was like, "Where'd you get good from?"
Perfect.
But yeah, quick plug. Listen to My Brother and Me. It's hilarious.
Adventure Zone, they're very, very good shows. Good shows.
Pies and Falk says that they're sweet boys.
They're sweet.
In chat.
They're sweet boys.
There was a question asked in chat if we want to.
Yes, maybe.
Take
quick. We have some fun ones that maybe we'll group the fun ones at the end. I think.
Okay.
Yeah. So Korean in chat, we'll get to you. I promise.
Rhiannon, did you have anything you wanted to say about characters that you click with, or?
I did not really like Nia when I first started playing her. I didn't really feel like I connected to her at all. But as she's grown, I have like really grown to appreciate her just in general, and I really like playing her now.
What about her? What have you found about her that you really like?
I think she's genuinely a kind person. I think of all of them, she's got the most kindness, and she's very consistent. But she's not brittly consistent. Like she has the ability to bend and change her mind, and I respect that about her.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to say it. I think that's what I like about Nia too. Who's got a helicopter or a motorcycle?
Oh no!
Or a hellmouth opening.
Yeah, that is. That's me. I'm like
cool.
I'm outside
Good
the gym now. But
Everyone in the chat is saying no Taz spoilers. That's fine. I haven't listened either, so don't worry. No Taz spoilers in this chat. Okay. What's the next? Sorry, I have co-opted the speaking.
Yeah, so I think that's it for the real serious questions. We can move into the fun questions now, unless anyone has anything else about their characters that they want to talk about.
I got to do an accent recently, and I'm excited to hear it, mostly from the people from my home state.
Cool.
That's all.
Do you want to break off a piece of it without saying anything about the character?
Give us some of that good.
I'll do one word. Oh, yeah? And that's all I got.
That's the whole character. All right. Let's do some fun ones. Not the rest haven't been fun. Let's do some goofy ones.
Okay, so Kareen in chat asks, what kind of pet people are all the characters? Cat, dog, fish, snake?
That's a good one.
Cat dog?
Cat dog, yeah.
Or cat dog?
Yeah. You had a cat dog.
Can I take that?
Well, Regan had a whole thing with cats, but I think she still is a cat person.
Yeah.
But maybe big cats.
Ooh.
Like she has like a pet lion or something, or
Not a pet, just like an ally that she acknowledges.
Uh-huh.
They pass each other in the wild once in a lifetime.
Yeah. I think we explicitly compare her to a lion at one point when she's about to address the High Council.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, so she's a cat person, and she might also be a cat person. I feel like her capacity for love.
She is a cat.
Yeah, well, I mean, she's pretty stealthy, and her capacity for love is very cat-like. It's 100% on my terms, you know?
Yeah. I love you. Ew, get away from me, scratch.
Yeah. And the scratch is coming real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. No warning.
Yeah.
No warnings. That's that's how she rolls.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. The Pennsylvanians though, are they animal people?
The Pennsylvanians are they animal people?
Yeah.
What
what pets do they have? Pets? Are they cat, dog, other thing? People.
I feel like Jen had guinea pigs or something.
Yeah, something really cute.
I always think of Nelson as
rodents.
having one of those. Oops, sorry. No, my bad. My bad. Go ahead. Where is it? Someone fuck with their pet.
Are you all right? Paul? Can you hold your microphone closer to your mouth? We can't hear you.
Oh man, can you hear me now or no?
Yeah.
Oh boy. Oh no. Uh-oh. Okay, all right.
Yeah, that's
my
better.
battery's super low.
That's better.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, my battery's super low.
All right. Well, we might if we lose you.
It's all good.
If we lose you in the middle of the call, thank you very much for joining us. We're glad we got to have you and hear you get swole in the background.
Thank you. I'm gonna be so.
I could see. You know what I could see with Jen? Maybe they did a class project where they had to take care of a hamster and a guinea pig, and everybody else was fucking useless, and Jen had to do all the work to keep the hamster alive.
So then she took it home over the summer vacation and just kept it.
Yeah. That checks out.
Yeah.
I could see the way we describe Billy's dad. He probably had a big angry dog on a chain that barks at anyone who walks past.
Yeah.
I was imagining 3 dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And none of them
3 Rottweilers.
Yeah, and none of them are necessarily there. They probably don't have collars and their vet records. They just kind of hang around the house. I feel like.
But they're actually super sweet dogs if you get to know them.
Yeah. They are sweet dogs. Probably Billy gets along well with them.
They probably sleep in his bed, cuddle him.
Yeah.
Aww.
Oh man, it's gross.
I like dogs.
Is Paul still on?
Paul's on. Yeah, Paul just said
Yeah, I'm
that's
still on.
gross.
They ruined it for me. I'm out. I'm out of this pet fantasy. No, I'm kidding. Live. Yeah. I mean, wait, what do you guys think for Nelson? I couldn't think of anything. I thought of a duck. That's what I thought.
A duck? Did you just say a duck?
A duck. He
a
literally was just yeah. Like a duck.
A duck?
Yeah, man.
Like the waterfowl.
The waterfowl.
Okay.
The waterfowl.
Can you keep pet ducks?
I had a pet duck.
Did you?
Yeah.
But you grew up in
I mean,
you grew up
he
in
lived in-
Fantasyland.
He lived in the pond, and he would come by name, and his name was Bill, and he was a duck, and he lived in our pond for one summer, and he would visit the other neighbors' ponds, and then he'd fly by, and we'd go, Bill, and he'd land and eat out of your hand, and he tried to court my mom because he wanted her to fly away with him and have his duck babies.
Oh my God.
That didn't happen because she's not a duck.
Bill is a
Bill's
very
crushed
good
by
duck
that.
name.
Wait,
Yeah,
so
Yeah, it is.
That
ducks
is
can actually recognize their name?
yeah.
Wow.
Some birds.
And he would,
some
and he
birds
would,
are,
yeah,
like,
and
scary
he
smart.
would eat out of your hand. And he was a great duck. And then at the end of the summer, he flew away, and he flew south, and we never saw him again.
So sad.
Flew away as like
No.
an Allman Brothers song plays.
It's like,
Bill's born
she
a
doesn't,
rambling
she
man.
doesn't love me. I gotta go
Yeah,
find one of my
exactly.
own kind.
Yeah.
It's like
Exactly what happened. That's
one that's 3 pounds.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that story. Can I totally appropriate that story for then with Nelson's? I think
What?
that's
Give him a duck?
Yeah.
You can have a duck.
We're giving Bill to Nelson.
Yeah.
Is what we're saying.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're giving Bill Nelson. I hope that's okay with you. Fine now.
I'll always have him in my heart.
Yeah. Runic Warrior in the live chat says that I imagine Nia's pet would be a mouse. She probably, yeah, you know what? Especially in Armstrong Guard, there's probably like a mouse that just like kept finding its way into her chambers, and she probably fed it.
Could she?
Like food for it, yeah.
Yeah.
Could she keep fish? Is
Yeah,
that
she
a
can
thing
keep
that could
fish.
happen?
Was that a thing back then, or is it like? I mean,
Because she grew up by the sea, so I could see that being like her little like piece of home that she takes with her.
Oh, that's
Is like a little fish.
But how do you'd have to filter the water, right?
That's true.
Magic.
What is happening? What is going on?
Are you okay?
There was a mechanical elephant, and it is taken, Paul.
It was the front door of the building. It's like this, like it's like you took it from the Saw. Like it's like a movie
All right,
out
I
of
got
Saw.
it. Okay.
Yes.
It's like an elven door. Freaks very, very much.
Yes. Exactly.
Definitely an elf door.
Elf door. All right, we gotta do the cat special.
Yes. So we'll close out with a question which we'll call the cat special because it's very much like Kat's question from last week about Hogwarts, which made everyone hate each other. So, Kat on Patreon submitted the question through Patreon, asked, if all the characters were competing, who would win in Cutthroat Kitchen? Keep in mind Sabotage's cooking ability and general attitude. This is a very important question.
Obviously, Regan is very skilled with knives.
Right.
So
Well, that's
true.
That like my worry with this question is that with Regan in the mix, like it could literally become Cutthroat Kitchen.
Yeah.
And like she certainly doesn't know how to cook, but she could murder everyone and win by default.
I feel like she like knows what poisons are too.
Yeah.
She's like she's chemistry. She's like good at chemistry.
Does she have some alchemy?
Yeah, but
But
so I've
that-
never seen Cutthroat Kitchen. Are there judges?
It's just that guy Alton Brown. Or is that his
So
name?
he won't be able to name someone the winner if he's poisoned and dead.
Well, she would
Yeah.
just, oh right, because they have to test the food. Well, she would just have to murder everybody else behind the scenes.
Yeah. Or dismember them enough so that they couldn't actually complete their meals.
Oh my
Oh
god.
lord.
That show is ruthless.
Yeah.
It's
I was
great.
just saying though,
That's grim.
by that same measure, wouldn't Yellowween also be in the mix? Like, he may not know how to cook, but he would have like super sensitive tasting, so he would be able to tell
That's
like
true.
what would go well together.
And he's got really good like senses. Like you could like sense the temperature of the things. Like even if someone took away his thermometers.
Yeah.
So, okay, so
Yeah, because that's what Cutthroat Kitchen's all about. Is like you
Yeah,
take
you like
away
you
implements.
take people's things, or they have to cook everything in one bowl, or like they can only use like stuff out of like a trash can, or like
so
yeah.
so Yellowween has a lot of skills at his disposal to like resist sabotage, but like that doesn't teach him how to cook.
To cook.
Like he can skin an animal, but he has never, other than like sticking something on a spit and roasting it. He has never prepared a meal in his life.
Yeah, at home he had servants.
Yeah, I feel
Yeah.
like Jen and Nelson both coming from single parent or single guardian homes where the guardian works.
Yeah.
They definitely are like self-sufficient in a kitchen.
Yeah, but I feel like Nelson wouldn't be too into the sabotage at first.
Yeah.
He's like, that's against the way to do things. We have to do it the right way.
Yeah. Well, my thing is, I think of this too. I don't think Nelson would necessarily sabotage. What I do think is that he would make something that would look so crappy that no one would want to like bother it, and he sleeps by, and when he actually tastes it, it tastes fucking dope.
Like something that he had to figure out, like as at home of like. Dude, you can't put SpaghettiOs on peanut butter and jelly. Wait a minute, SpaghettiOs on peanut butter and jelly is amazing.
Exactly. It's like one of those it sneaks under the radar. Everyone's like, well, fuck Nelson shit.
Yeah.
And then he's like, oh, little do you know. Like, yeah.
I don't know. I think the loner Ravenclaw in the chats that got Gwen. I think Gwen and Bailey would do well. I think Bailey would win actually.
Yeah, Bailey would win. It's a question.
Bailey would win.
The question is, you just throw like every secondary character in, like whether you have like a 64-person battle royale of every character we've ever met, or whether
it's like Cutthroat Kitchen.
Good on the barbecue.
Yeah.
Wait, what happened? I missed everything.
I said, I don't know this show, but I feel like Bryce could throw down some barbecue.
Yeah, Brennan.
Yeah.
Could he? Well, yeah. But does Brennan even like enjoy food? Like, is the taste of food like a consideration for Brennan? Like,
I think he's pretty utilitarian. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just fuel for him to further go to about his business.
Yeah. Like, I mean, Brennan, if you need to feed, like, you know, an army company and you need to, like, catch and kill a deer with your bare hands, Brennan can do that and, like, roast it up real quick, but it won't be, like, the most succulent,
favorite.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I could see him being like a secret foodie, though.
Brennan is, you know what, though? Oh,
He's
yeah.
like a secret foodie.
He had...
Because he would come back to the Capitol and the palace, and, like, he'd, like, you know... Gunther would be like, "Oh yeah, try this."
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. And then he's like, with Gunther. And yep.
So can we all agree every reality show needs to have the one person who like fails out in a hilarious and terrible way? That would be Billy, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And Arlene.
Yeah, Arlene would fail.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Loner Ravenclaw points out correctly that Gwen can probably manage something.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what she does. No.
Yeah, I mean, she's not a cook. Like, she's more of like she brings things. She's a handmaiden. So she can sew the shit out of something. And she can she knows about food. Like, it's not her main thing, but I think she can get by in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Well, hasn't she been helping out with Bailey?
Yeah.
Now, so
It seems like Bailey would be the one.
Yeah, Bailey.
Bailey would be the one.
But that's almost cheating. Like, you can't who in our cast
I feel like...
would win? The restaurateur probably. Yeah.
Sure. I think. Okay, then who would be the?
But she's
cast
also
of,
like ruthless.
That's true.
If they had to have 3 judges from the cast, who would they be? Like Bailey, I think is one.
Yes. Good. Yep.
And then maybe Arlene, just for like presentation side of things,
they need,
or
like, a highborn. They need if we were putting
a celebrity guest.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Katy Perry. She knows nothing
Bailey...
about cooking, but she eats food.
Yeah, Renault as a judge would be hilarious.
Renault? No, God.
Have him judging everybody's food.
God.
It's like falling out of him.
Yeah, right. It's also just like falling straight through the hole. In his stomach.
That or Arden.
Arden would be a good judge.
Yeah.
Or if the presentation's not good, he just smashes it with a hammer. Yeah. If we were gonna pitch this show, right? Like, what's the structure of the judge? You want like a highborn judge?
Yeah. Yeah.
You probably do want. You want some.
Do you want an elf on there?
Well, you don't.
Want an elf on that shelf?
You actually don't. But since since right now the media of this world would be controlled by the elves, there would be one on there anyway, even though no one cares.
Yeah.
So an elf would be on the show, but we don't want them there. So we're pitching our own show. So
are we pitching this show in Jordan, or are we talking about like us in real life going to NBC and be like, listen, we've got a good idea.
Yes, we have a
So the Once a Future Nerd is a super successful fantasy, and we need to do a spin-off reality cooking show.
Yeah.
Can this be a bonus episode at some point? Can we?
Yeah, probably should.
I'll start working on something.
People want me to imitate. People want me to do a Renault line. That's bad.
Just try to be Gordon Ramsay, but Renault as Gordon Ramsay.
God.
But from the juniors show that he does, the show with kids.
I don't
where it has to be nice.
What's a thing that Gordon Ramsay would say? I just know he's like a dick to people who cook. I know that's his whole shtick.
He's like, what is this? What am I eating here? What's in my mouth? Is this food? Now he sounds Italian. I'm sorry. No, I bow out, guys.
Okay, so it's something like, because he's rotten and everything he touches is rotten, right? Like,
yeah.
All right. Kat got it. She nailed it. Okay, so it's something. I admire your use of oysters in this recipe. Did you know that oysters are a common aphrodisiac? Granted, everything I touch turns into a withered husk of its former self. But it's the thought that counts.
All right. I like it.
Because he would like spend 3 seconds judging the food, and then he would hit on the contestants, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, good.
Yeah.
Okay.
As an aside, has anyone listened to the recent My Brother and Me? Because they also talked about Gordon Ramsay, so I think that means we now have a kinship with
also,
My Brother.
Also, if anybody's listening to Join the Party, which is the D&D podcast that a couple of the people from Spirits do, they just did a it's another cooking show. They did like a cooking show with.
They did Chopped.
Chopped. That's right.
It was great.
Yeah, and like in doing Chopped for their D&D podcast, their DM actually like figured out how to make alchemy work in 5e, and it was a pretty amazing thing to listen to.
Yeah.
And made a dice game version of Chopped, which is also pretty impressive.
Yeah. No, it was good. I'm a fan.
I love Chopped.
You should listen to Join the Party Fantasy Chopped.
I will listen to everything. Is what we're getting at.
There's a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, a lot of that good.
Good.
So I think we should probably wrap up. We still ostensibly have a script to write, and it's gotten late. I hope we should. Does anybody have stuff they want to plug before we sign off?
Can I do a quick plug real quick for our most recent bonus episode?
Yes,
Yeah. So, just to show it off here, we have... Oh, it's mirrored on Skype. Sorry. This is the Punch Escrow. We interviewed the author, and that interview is up on our podcast feed now. And if you want to win this copy of the book, you can tweet using hashtag TOAFN and hashtag GetPunched. As well, we'll probably do another drawing for... We have a few copies of the book, so people whose questions were answered today, we'll see if we can get you some books as well. So that's my quick plug. Listen to that episode. It was pretty good. And also, quick shout-out. We're up to 18 people watching now, so thank you, everyone, for joining us on our first live stream.
High five!
Yeah.
We did it.
Awesome.
Anyone else want to do a quick shout-out?
The once I'm performing at a Rockwood Music Hall on Monday, August 7th in New York City, if anyone's around. It's the Once Reunion Jam. Companies of Once from Broadway and all the North American productions are going to be there playing music, and it's supporting VH1 Save the Music, which is a charity that supports music education in schools.
Awesome.
We've got to retweet a link for that. You gotta send us a link so we'll be sure we
I will.
do that.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
I mean,
Oh, high fives. High fives. I figured it out.
You got it. There we go.
oh wait, high fives. Oh yeah. High fives to everybody.
There you go. Woo.
And, oh my god! And I mean, if you guys like, for anyone that wants to see more crap that I do too, just check out the Nose blog. That's it. Anywhere, just Google it and Twitter it. I don't know.
The Notice blog.
Nose blog. Yeah,
Cool.
that's it. All Notice. Nose blog. Actually, it's also called Nose now,
Mm-hmm.
but that doesn't really matter. Oh yeah. Oh my god. I am producing I'm doing a short documentary on black skaters in DC called Shaw Boys. So be on the lookout for that.
Amazing.
It's really, really dope. Yeah, it covers gentrification, black boy joy, creating queer friendly spaces in traditionally what you would see as hyper masculine spaces, but all of a sudden for some reason this group of kids have created a very welcoming and open society in the midst of a really kind of stressful environment. There's a lot of shit that goes down, hyper violence, police brutality, gentrification, all of that, and they create this kind of safe haven for everybody. And they're a bunch of skaters. And it's dope.
That's awesome.
It's solid. Yeah.
Cool.
High five.
Yeah.
High five.
That's
Cool. If you like video games, go listen to Left Trigger, Right Trigger. But also, I'm going to be a sappy uncle and shout out to my niece who was born 3.5 hours ago.
High five.
So yeah, I'm going to go up to Maine and see my family soon.
Nice.
And yay, with no name yet, but little niece, I'll see you soon.
Whoa.
And now
Nice.
this little person, we got to keep the show going long enough for her to form conscious memories, so she can be like Garrett's daughter, who her entire remembered life, Garrett has been in this show.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And the real accomplishment is to get to the point where she'll watch this back again and be able to be embarrassed by it.
Sure, yeah. So she's got to get to 12. So
Yeah.
Like 7.
yeah.
Actually,
Yeah.
can you send a mic to your relatives and get some baby sounds?
Oh my gosh, that'd be so great.
Oh wait.
That'd be so great.
Potentially. We'll talk about this later. But yeah.
Awesome. Sorry to put you on the spot there.
We'll see.
Word.
We'll see what happens.
Shannon, Rhiannon, anything to plug?
No, not for me.
All right. Well,
Cool.
looking forward to. Shannon plays some really cool characters, and I'm looking forward to you guys all getting to hear them. Yeah. Okay. So, I think that's gonna do it for us on this live stream. We're gonna clean up the audio a little bit and probably stick the blooper reel at the end, and then post this on our regular podcast feed. I want to say it'll probably go up on Sunday, but not 100% sure. And then we are hard at work on editing Chapter 3. So as soon as we have some release dates to commit to, we will announce those. It shouldn't be too long. We'll keep you all posted.
Yes, but thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. And yeah, thanks.
Yeah, and thank you to our patrons who put us over the top to our reach goal of not losing money to make our stream our show. So thank you very much, and that's why we're doing this stream. Yeah, high fives.
The highest of fives.
Yeah.
Woo!
Thank you guys.
One day we'll be
Awesome.
profitable. One day.
Cool. Well, have a good night, everybody.
Night.
Bye.
I got
All right.
All right.
See ya.
Stop streaming.
Wait.